Welcome back with our main topic today. Well, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi inaugurated the Global Forum for Higher Education and Scientific Research in Egypt's new administrative capital, with the attendance of around 2,000 participants and figures, including high-level officials. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to host this morning the breakfast show our dear guest, Dr. Ahmed Hadedy, Assistant Professor of Construction and Project Management. Good morning, Dr. Hadedy.
Good morning.
Dr. Hadedy, how do you see the importance and significance of Egypt hosting this conference?
This conference delivers two main messages to the whole world as follows. First of all, the message that Egypt is on the track for progress in the higher education sector and scientific research. And the second message is that the sons of Egypt are available anytime to serve the country with their experience, with their knowledge. As we can see, a lot of esteemed professors who came from all over the world to participate in such a prestigious event. Yes. So it was very, very important to demonstrate the progress which is occurring in the higher education and scientific research sector.
Yes. So, Dr. Hadedy, how is it important for young people to acquire technological skills and to build a generation capable of serving the society and would meet the requirements of the labor market?
Skills development enhances both people's capacities to work and their opportunities at work, which offers more scope for creativity and satisfaction at work. The future prosperity of any country depends ultimately on the number of persons in employment and how productive they are at work.
Yes.
A rich literature exists on the links between education, skills, productivity, and economic growth. It is worth mentioning that innovation and technological change are powerful drivers for any country's economic growth.
Yes, of course.
This has been the case in the past and will no doubt continue to be so in the future. What's particularly notable about today's environment, the rapidity with which innovations is spread into mass use, such as automation, the adoption of automation and artificial intelligence in different branches of science.
Yes, yes. So, Dr. Hadedy, how important is it also to develop a strategy that aims to raise the rankings of many Egyptian universities, to raise the status of universities at the global level?
The higher education and scientific research sector witnessed over the past 7 years a lot of progress in the era of President Sisi, and various achievements in several areas that have achieved excellent results for the development of the higher education system and the improvement of the academic level of Egyptian universities and research institutes. Since 2017, there is a committee which is formed to ensure that all the universities are working hard to improve their international rankings. Moreover, we already have in Egypt what's called the National Authority for Quality Assurance and Accreditation of Education, which introduces strict guidelines to maintain high-quality educations at the universities in Egypt. I can see nowadays a lot of Egyptian universities included in many international classifications, such as British Times Higher Education Rating, US News Classification, Shanghai Classification, and QS World Ranking.
Yes. Dr. Hadedy, how do you see the importance of supporting the Egyptian universities to establish dual degree programs between Egypt and foreign universities? And how does this affect the upgrading of the Egyptian universities and the coordination between Egyptian and international universities?
I will talk about my experience.
Yes, please.
I was lucky to be one of the students who enjoyed this experience. 8 years ago,
yes.
I graduated from the British University in Egypt in collaboration with Loughborough University at the UK with a dual bachelor's degree in civil engineering. I experienced the quality of British education at my university, and this qualified me later on to pursue my master's and PhD degrees in Canada and United Kingdom.
Yes.
Having said that, and based on the personal experience, I can say that establishing partnerships with foreign universities enhances the curricula being taught at universities, fosters innovation, enhances the quality of Egyptian universities, and builds the capacities of young generations, which will consequently have a great impact on upgrading the higher education sector in Egypt.
Yes.
So I think that establishing partnerships with universities, maybe in United Kingdom, maybe in Canada, maybe in the United States, acquire the knowledge and experiences of these universities at developing countries to be in-house in Egypt for developing the curricula being taught and for developing the skills of the next generations which are raising up right now.
Yes. So, Dr. Hadedy, how is it important also acknowledging, acquiring knowledge and the necessity of keeping up with the educational curricula with the requirements of the future jobs?
Yeah. Many of the jobs that will be generated over the next 2 decades do not exist today. Yet most of the workforce of those years is already in education and training. Even so,
yes,
the need to upgrade skills applies not only to young people in schools, universities and training institutions, but also to the current generation of workers.
Yes.
Regarding this issue, I would like to quote what have been said by Professor Wagih al-Maraghi. He is one of the most well-known and well-experienced professors, Egyptian professors in Canada. And of course, you know him, Professor Wagih al-Maraghi, and his wife, Professor Hadedy al-Maraghi. He said at the forum, innovate or die. Innovate or die.
The person has to be creative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and this is true. As those who will not work on developing their skills will lose their existence in the market.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Hadedy, how can we develop or enhance in Egypt the research and also enhance the development?
I see that R&D, research and development, is not a thing which depends on a single entity. I always visualize R&D process as a 3D partnership, including the government, the academia, and the industry. Whenever a partner is absent, the relationship becomes inefficient and
Yes.
weak.
Yes.
The government should act as a mediator between both the industry and the academia in different science branches. And 6 years ago, I carried out an intensive research about this collaboration between the 3 parties in the construction research sector in Canada. And I introduced what's called the logic model. The logic model consists of inputs, which are the investments of each collaborating parties,
Yes.
outputs, which are the carried out activities, and outcomes on the short term, medium term, and long term. This makes the intent and expected results of each of the collaborating party clearer and strengthen the partnership among them. This is an example which can be applied on the local domain for improving the R&D process in Egypt by strengthening the collaboration among the 3 parties in
Yes.
Egypt. As if we need to foster the innovation in Egypt, as we need to develop the R&D process in Egypt, we need to make sure that there is a triangle of 3 heads consisting mainly of the government, the academia, and the industries. Each one of them should list his inputs, which he can invest in this partnership. He should list his outputs, what he can do in this
Yes.
partnership,
Yes.
and what he is seeking from this partnership, the outcomes on the short term and medium term and long term. If this is set from the early beginning, and every one of the collaborating party is aware of what he can do, what he can invest, what he needs from this collaboration, accordingly, the R&D process will be more efficient, and we can see the cycle of R&D getting faster more and more.
Yes. So, Dr. Hadedy, could you give us your insight on the importance of raising the efficiency of the faculty members in the Egyptian universities to develop the sector of higher education and scientific research?
We, as academics, should realize our impact on the young generations.
Yes.
If we develop ourselves, our skills, our capabilities, this will consequently have a positive impact on the higher education and the young generations. We should make ourselves aware of the day-to-day technologies introduced by developed countries. We should make use of our peers' experience and seek their knowledge. Regarding
Yes.
this issue, I would like to quote what have been said by Professor Mohammed Lutfi, the president of the British University in Egypt, at the forum, and he said the education community needs to complement, not to compete with each other,
Yes.
to be able to position ourselves for the new challenges and future.
Yes.
So there should be more collaboration between the research centers, between the universities, between academics inside Egypt and outside Egypt. So it's important for Egyptian scholars to collaborate with another scholars outside of Egypt to get what is new in different science branches and implement it in Egypt.
Yes. Dr. Hadedy, can you talk to us about the importance of keeping pace with the higher education and scientific research with all its components, including the faculty members and students, in order to cope with modern technological changes?
As we said earlier, we need to get aware of what is happening outside Egypt, because there is a lot of technological advancement being carried out right now.
Yes.
The world now depends mainly on automation and artificial intelligence, and this has been more obvious after the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yes.
Like most of the businesses worldwide depended on automation, and it rarely depend nowadays on the workforce. So people should get aware of the importance of technological advancements in order to cope with what is happening in developing nations.
Yes. So, Doctor, you were just mentioning the sentence of if you cannot innovate, so it's better for you to die.
Yeah.
Yes, we would like to shed more light on this. Being creative, how would this help in the technological changes and requirements?
Yeah, Professor Maraghi said that at the forum when he said you should innovate or die,
Yes.
because without innovation, no economic growth, no development, no enhancement of businesses, and everything will shut down. So if you don't innovate, you will stay as you are, and the world is going with fast pace of advancement and technological progress, which we will not be able to cope with.
Yes.
So accordingly, I totally agree with the sentence when he said innovate or die.
Yes.
Innovation is the main core for technological development, for economic growth, and it's a main driver. We should realize that.
Yes, yes. Dr. Hadedy, how do you see the importance of publishing scientific research conducted by Egyptian universities on the emerging of the coronavirus to benefit from it, and also to raise the classification of the Egyptian universities on the international level?
So I'm not aware of the COVID-19 research because it's out of my scope. I'm engineering
Yes.
background. So I will talk in general about the importance of publications. As most of the scholars right now tend to publish at Q1 and Q2 journals, which
Yes.
are highly reputable journals, this impacts the reputation of Egyptian universities and improve the ranking of universities. So
Yes.
we should focus more on publishing in reputable journals. A lot of research papers right now is being produced by Egyptian scholars, which
Yes.
are published at Q1 and Q2 journals, and this consequently impacts the ranking of Egyptian universities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Dr. Hadedy, in your opinion, what is the role of the Egyptian national universities in developing the e-learning system in Egypt?
We can see that most of the Egyptian universities after COVID-19 pandemic depends mainly on the e-learning platforms, especially that we have been teaching for almost 1 year and a half out of campus.
Yes.
So we relied a lot on the e-learning. We relied on technological advancements, and we relied mainly on different social media platforms such as Microsoft Teams, Zoom, for delivering the lectures and tutorials. So I see that now many universities have developed an efficient e-learning websites to deliver the lectures and the different curricula being taught on campus to be delivered off campus.
Yes, yes. So, Dr. Hadedy, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi stressed that the importance of developing state universities parallel to establishing new universities that there are some projects of new universities, of course, established by the state. How do you see the importance of this?
Actually, we have a lot of universities being established right now in Egypt, and I think this widen the variety of universities being introduced in the sector of higher education and scientific research, and this offers different options for the student to pick a university which suits his requirements. And we can see a lot of technological universities nowadays are opening in Egypt.
Yes.
And I think this is offers a lot of variety for the student to pick which university suits the best his requirements for future career.
Yes. Also, the president yesterday toured the sports facilities of the University of Kafr el-Sheikh.
Yeah.
Yes, and he affirmed that artificial intelligence is the future for Egypt and the whole world.
Yeah.
So, what's your comment on this?
As I said before, that the world now is going with fast pace towards the adoption of automation and artificial intelligence. Using in the use of decision support systems, in using of automated construction, and we have to adopt this concept widely in Egypt to cope with the advancements which are being applied in developed countries, and this is in return will impact us with an economic growth.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, during his inspection of the university, the president was briefed on projects and inventions, I mean, by students in the fields of energy, technology, biotechnology, and artificial intelligence.
One of the research which we should focus on is the use of or the research in the energy sector.
Yes.
Because Egypt is gifted with a lot of natural resources like the solar power.
Yes.
And I can say that we have the fourth largest solar park all over the world,
Yes.
which is Bimban Solar Park in Aswan.
Yes.
And the adoption or the working on the research in the energy sector is very,
Yes.
very efficient nowadays, because Egypt is gifted with a lot of natural resources which we should make use of.
Yes, yes. So yesterday this event was also there are 5 international universities which are already operating, international universities operating in the new administrative capital. 5 universities are already working and operating there. How do you see the importance of the 5 universities operating in the new administrative capital?
The international universities being executed nowadays in Egypt attracts a lot of investments.
Yes.
So a lot of investors came from outside.
And it is starting in a new city, of course, the new administrative capital, which
Yes.
is the future of the capital. Yes.
Of Egypt.
Of
Yeah.
Egypt, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So opening the market for international universities to come from outside Egypt and start establishing their institutions over the Egyptian soil,
Yes.
this attracts a lot of investments to Egypt, first of all. The second, it offers a high education, a high quality education in Egypt, which let the student enjoy a high quality education in Egypt instead of going abroad in UK or so. I'm
Yes.
bringing the curricula, I'm bringing the experience of the developing nations to Egypt to being taught instead of leaving the country and going outside for 3 or 4 years to get the degree. So you are getting the degree while you are sitting beside your family here, and you are enjoying a high quality education.
Yes, actually Minister Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, the Minister of Higher Education, said that establishing new international universities in Egypt reduces the number of the Egyptian students who travels abroad by 50%. Could you give us your insight concerning this?
Yes, that's what I told you right now. Instead of let's say about Galala University, it offers now a curricula in collaboration with universities in the US, and they are offering to the student whether he take his first 2 years on campus here in Egypt and leave to the US in the last 2 years, or he can stay for the whole duration here in Egypt for the 4 years, in which they bring the international experts or the international tutors from the US to come and teach the last 2 years for him on campus here in Egypt.
Yes, yes. So how do you see the importance of this conference as it was a step in order to discuss a number of issues related to the development of the higher education and scientific research, also the skills that young people must master in order to keep with the requirements of labor market?
The forum shed the light on different areas which we need to take in consideration for improving the higher education sector and scientific research sector in the next few years. First of all, the emotional intelligence which we need to take in consideration at universities, at workplace. Second, the adoption of artificial intelligence, automation in different branches of sciences.
Yes.
And the third message, which is very, very important, the multidisciplinary research and transdisciplinary research, in which a lot of collaboration should be carried out between different science branches. As we can see, one of the Professor Hisham Al-Askari, who collaborated with Sir Magdi Yaoub, and this is working on remote sensing, and this is working in heart surgery.
Yes.
So there should be a collaboration between different science branches to demonstrate and work on the progress of the research and development in Egypt.
Yes.
So these are the most three messages which attracted me at the forum.
Yes. I thank you very much for coming today. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Ahmed Hadedy, Dr. Ahmed Hadedy, Assistant Professor of Construction and Project Management. Thank you very much for joining us today. It was my pleasure to host you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for following me in this segment of The Breakfast Show. My name is Amal Mukhtar. I leave you with the rest of the segments in the program.